All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. I'm going to show you guys my research and due diligence. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. That being said, we're going to hop on the charts, facts, data, showing what I'm looking at as a trader and investor for this week. All right, this week's going to be truly insane. I know I say that all the time, but ladies and gentlemen, we got so many different catalysts coming up this week. It's going to be wild. All right, so right off the bat, before we even get to the meme stocks, we'll be talking about the meme stocks. I'll also talk quickly about BYND, and then we're going to be looking at SPY and then the crypto market. But we have so many things going on. Before we get into that, I have to tell you guys what's going on and why this week is so special. So we have tech earnings, okay, right off the bat, which is going to be huge. Now, I think the earnings are going to be mixed, but I think the majority of them are not going to be as good as we hoped. So they are not only trying to pump things up to help, counteract that. And we have a lot of stuff going on that could potentially pump us up. We have the whole tariff thing going on with Trump and China potentially coming to a resolve. There is... officials have reached a consensus for them to consider. They're going to meet here on Thursday and see if that goes through. If that goes through, that's going to help pump us up big. Now, at the same time that's happening, Trump also did a 10% tariff hike on Canada. Again, this is more mixed stuff. The market doesn't like uncertainty, but with the main thing with China being cleared up, that's going to be bullish overall. I don't think the Canada thing is going to affect us too much. Now, we also have, on top of all of this, Fed interest rate decisions. Now, I'm going to talk about the other data drops that we have as well here, but this is going to be the big thing. And the majority of the consensus is thinking that the Fed interest rates are going to be coming down. You guys can see the previous is 4.25. It looks like it's going to be coming down to 4, and I believe that most likely is going to be happening as well. We're going to probably see a rate cut, which is going to be bullish for everything from crypto to small and mid-cap stocks to the entire stock market, as that liquidity becomes more easily accessible, and it's going to pump things up, all right? Normally, when you get rate cuts, the SPY returns at least 13% in that year. So, again, this bubble still could continue. And again, in the short term, that might seem like a good thing, but overall, I think that this is a very bad thing, and it's going to lead to the destruction of the dollar even faster, which is why I personally think Bitcoin is going to be worth exponentially more, especially with the M2 money supply growing. But that's a whole thing that I can break down on stream for you guys on Monday. Now, also, if you guys haven't watched my live stream, make sure you guys watch my live stream as well, because I had AMC had a report. I talked about my feelings about this report. I'm not going to break it down on this video, but AMC dropped a whole report for 2024, basically going over everything that they did and discussing potential risks that shareholders may face. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying that they could face issues if they're not able to raise cash, but we're also facing potential risk to shareholders if they dilute. So it's literally like a gun to your head, ladies and gentlemen, like, hey, something bad might happen if you don't dilute. And if you dilute, price is going to continue to go down. So I broke down my thoughts on that. Obviously, this isn't a good thing in my personal opinion. I don't think they're personally going to go bankrupt in my personal opinion. I think that's a scare tactic, but I broke all that down on the live stream. I'm not going to get into that here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to continue to cover AMC and GME, or if you guys want me to move on to other stocks. But me personally, soon I probably will be letting go of my AMC shares, harvesting a tax loss, and putting that in somewhere else. So I want to make that very, very clear. If I do sell my AMC, I'll let you guys know, and we'll talk about that on stream. Now, guys, AMC and GME, as far as the technicals are concerned, GME looks like it's potentially primed for a movement to the upside here. And then if the rates get cut, that's going to be bullish for both AMC and GME. So if we do see these rate cuts, which is going to be happening in the later half of the week, you're going to see most things pop off. So basically, you're going to see the meme stocks move with the market generally here. I believe SPY is going to be pushing up, but GME looks like it's getting ready to make a move past this 2350 level here and hold that. And if it does do that, it's going to see a decent pop to the upside. There's multiple gap fills to the upside for GME. So GME is looking bullish. All right. So if GME starts to move up, I believe AMC is going to move up. up. Now, we have to look at what's going on here with the shares as well. At time of recording, this could change as early as Monday, but you guys can see 4.3 million short shares here for AMC. They've been building up short shares in anticipation for a potential rally, in my personal opinion. Cost to borrow is going up. As you guys can see, cost to borrow is starting to rise and trend in the right direction. Slightly coming down as of lately, but still trending up mostly overall. 0.51%. We definitely want to see that cost to borrow go up because that will make it more expensive for them to short us down. Now, here at time of recording for GME, they have 1.2 million short shares at 0.50% cost to borrow. Again, you want to watch those cost to borrow levels. GME cost to borrow is rising. 1.2 million isn't that many shares, but again, this could change as early as Monday morning. Now, as far as the technicals are concerned, we still have that bullish divergence. RSI clearly trending up. Bullish momentum definitely building. I believe that GME is setting up for a substantial move here. If you guys go ahead and pop on the Bollinger Bands, you guys can see that the bands are starting to tighten up after that big move to the upside. We have this big move here that we got here last week. It looks like we're making a little bit of a bull flag, a bullish consolidation right underneath that 2350 level, and we're going to see a nice pop above that. So I'm thinking that GME is going to break and hold 2350 this week, and if it does that, it's going to see a nice move up, overall giving GME a green week. And if we get the rate cuts as well, that should help AMC recover. We should be able to bottom out of this overall downtrend that we've been in. You guys can see ever since we've lost this high of 318, we should be able to bottom out of that. But they've been attacking AMC extensively, guys. They've been dark pooling everything. We've seen dark pool as high as 81% some days. So you do have to be aware of that. We could potentially see a little bit more downside before that recovery, and things could start slow this week. Remember, the rate cuts aren't until the middle of the week. So both AMC and GME could start slow this week. That's why I kind of have this consolidation here for GME, maybe even a little bit of pullback, and then the later half of the week we'll start moving to the upside. But I think overall we should be seeing a green week here for the meme stocks based off of everything here that we are looking at in the totality. So as far as GME is concerned, I think we're going to break above that 2350, holding that, getting a nice pop to the upside. AMC could come down to about 265, 260 before pushing to the upside, but it looks like we recovered here coming into Friday's close. And remember, Friday is one of the most manipulated days. Max Pain was 250 that day, so we should be able to recover back over the 270 level and push up towards 280. If AMC is able to break and hold 286, we could see a decent pop to the upside, and there are gap fills to the upside for AMC, same as GME. If GME starts to move to the upside, I believe AMC will move to the upside as well. But I think overall we're going to be seeing a green week here for the meme stocks. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe, because I go over this stuff every single day, and I do go live during market hours giving you guys all these details as they do become available. Now let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market, show you guys what's going on there and talk about that. Let's quickly just touch on BYND before we move into that. As you guys can see, BYND, I just want to break it down real quick. I talked about it more on the overall weekly outlook prediction on the live stream, but there's two gap fills on the daily time frame, and these gaps are going to get filled, in my personal opinion, this week. I think it's going to continue to come down. I told you guys once we lost the trend line that it was going to crash down, and once we came back inside the bands, it was going to crash down. We came back inside the bands here, and then we corrected down. We used the trend line as resistance, and we corrected down, and now we're losing key levels of support. Gap fill starts at about 188 to 150. So that's one of the gap fills, and then we have another gap fill that's in the cent range around 89 cents to about 78 cents. Those are not exact numbers. These gaps are on the daily time frame. They're going to get filled most likely this week. So I think BYND is going to be coming down. Now, again, anyone talking about this saying it's going to squeeze again, I'm not saying that's not possible, but I'm telling you right now, guys, it's going to come down and fill those gaps before moving to the upside. Now, once it fills those gaps, I'll be able to determine what's happening next after that, but expect more downside for BYND. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market, show you guys what's going on there and what makes this week so crazy. So again, Fed interest rate decision, okay? I think we're going to be getting a rate cut. I think the rates are going to be coming down. That's going to be bullish for the overall market and crypto. Definitely going to be extremely bullish. We have GDP, which looks like it's going to be bearish, but the rate cuts will override that. That's going to be on Thursday. We have personal income and personal spending month over month. We might not get any of these data drops because of the government shutdown, but we're definitely still getting the Fed interest rate decision, and that's going to be the big thing anyways. So we might not get those other reports, but we're definitely getting Fed interest rate decisions. I already looked it up, and that is coming this week. Then we also have tech earnings. We have Microsoft, Google, and Meta on Wednesday, and then Apple and Amazon on Thursday. I think overall these earnings are going to be mixed, but I think they're going to be a majority bad. But again, with Fed interest rates getting cut, it will kind of override that. Again, if they were pumping and the tech earnings go good and we get good interest rates, that's going to really send SPY up. But I think overall SPY is very easily, safely giving a price target of 680 for SPY this week. I think that's going to be happening. Now, I want to make it very, very clear that we're not out of the bear flag yet, and we could easily trend up to much, much higher and still be in this macro bear flag. But if the things get resolved with the Trump tariffs and everything, that's going to be so bullish that we could literally blast off. Now, we don't have much room to run, so if we do get a sharp pump up, I would expect a sharp correction down. You guys can see RSI on the weekly time frame already inching into overbought. Not there just yet, but it's at 69.16. Anything over 70 is overbought territory. Monthly RSI is way out of control right now, sitting at 76. Normally when we get this hot, we see steep corrections down. So if we do get a pop up, I think we'll see a correction down. But with the overall liquidity and everything, this bubble could continue. Now, again, I think I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, and I'll break it down on the live streams more, but I think this is like end game level shit, where people are cashing out and trying to pump this thing as high as possible before the music stops. All right. And if this keeps happening, SPY is going to keep going up. Bitcoin's going to keep going up. Key crypto coins will keep going up, ladies and gentlemen. But Bitcoin normally follows the M2 money supply very, very well. And it's normally thought of as a hedge against printing. With the rates getting cut, things are not looking good. It's going to devalue the dollar. These assets will keep going up simply because the dollar keeps losing value. So it actually seems like everything's good, but the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and your dollar is losing value. I can break that all down on a live stream much more. And again, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but this is like end game level stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And with them cutting the rates, it's going to send the market even higher. That is very, very clear. So 680 price target here on SPY. We will be watching the bear flag very, very closely to make sure that it doesn't push to the downside. Again, also, this is evidence that we could see a sharp pop up and then a sharp correction down. So I am going to be very, very wary about that. Again, that could be setting a bull trap. Once we make that correction down, though, that doesn't mean that we couldn't see a movement higher. But I think we are going to see a steep correction coming here soon. So be careful on that. SPY, I think, is going to be hitting 680 this week. Could start off slow. I think we might see a little bit of a gap to the upside here pre-market. If we do, you'll probably pull back, find support, and then push to the upside, similar to what you see here. Again, remember, sharp pop up to drop down. Huge events that are going to be moving the market are tech earnings and Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday and Thursday. So be ready, guys, for that. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on for BTC and crypto, and then we will wrap up this video. So Bitcoin right now is already recovering. It's up to almost 2.25%, 209 right now to be exact. It's making a bull flag right now here under key levels of support. Most likely going to push up back towards 115,700, believe it or not. It looks like that the tariff drop that we have, we're actually recovering out of that now, which also leads me to believe that the market could potentially do the same. Bitcoin looks really, really good right here. And I think once we get back above 115,700, that's going to confirm that, yes, indeed, that we have bottomed as long as we hold that level. And we're going to push up even higher for another leg to the upside, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, this bull market has been very, very different. We've seen coins come out of nowhere, explode. We've also seen key altcoins do good. Like this coin ZEC came out of nowhere, did good. We also have some other coins like that COAI coin that came out of nowhere. COAI came out of nowhere, did 4,000%. So we do have that. We do have some meme coins that pop off every once in a while. But other than that, key altcoins have seen most of the gains. XLM, XRP have seen a lot of gains. Bitcoin has seen a lot of gains. Ethereum has seen a lot of gains. Key altcoins have seen a lot of gains. We still haven't gotten to that crazy altcoin season yet, and we haven't seen Bitcoin dominance coming down. So again, this could mean the market's maturing. Something similar to what I told you guys might happen, where some meme coins will fade out and the top altcoin projects will be the ones that remain. Now, again, I'm not saying that's happening. We could go into a crazy blow off top and everything with the name crypto could start going crazy again. But until we see the Bitcoin dominance come down and the Ethereum dominance come up, we're not in that altcoin season like we've seen in 2020 and 2021, where every altcoin was just pumping and we saw massive gains across the board. So make sure you pick your crypto projects wisely, ladies and gentlemen. Now, me, mostly, I'm invested in like the top coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, ADA, and that's what I look at. But there's definitely gains to be made other places. Now, fear and greed, it's starting to move out of the fear. Again, remember, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. Again, that extreme fear giving us a great buy signal, as we were in extreme fear during these dips here on BTC and other key altcoins. Key altcoins like Ethereum look like it's getting ready to break out of this falling wedge, which we've been talking about extensively here on this channel. Also, XRP is now recovering as well, back above $2.50. I told you anything under that was a steal, and that would have been a great buy zone. As you guys can see, we're up above that. If XRP is able to get back above $3, that's a sign that potentially a new all-time high is coming. If it's able to break and hold $3. So XRP holders, watch out for that key level of $3. If Bitcoin gets above 115,700, XRP most likely will push up as well. Ethereum looks like it's getting ready to break out of a huge falling wedge, which could send it to 4.95 thousand. So again, more signs that another leg up is coming. Now, the whole thing with the manipulation of the whale shorting and the liquidity flush that we've seen, and then the Trump tariff scare, really hurt some coins like Cardano, ADA, and stuff like that. They are on track to come back up, and if Bitcoin does recover, they will come back up. But again, ADA hasn't moved up kind of like Ethereum. Ethereum basically recovered mostly. We still have a little bit more gains to go, but Cardano, ADA has a lot more to go. Now, that doesn't mean that Cardano, ADA is a bad coin. It just means that it has less downside risk and more upside reward. So things that are oversold like this or down low like this could be potential good buys, not financial advice. I think Cardano 8 is going to be pushing up. Ethereum is going to be pushing up. XRP is going to be pushing up. I think we're going to see moves on those key coins. So again, even if you don't hold BTC, you want to be watching BTC, but we're seeing the band start to tighten up. We're getting above the blue medium line. If we can get this green weekly MACD to curl green, it looks like we're going to make a pop for another new all-time high, which could lead us way past that 126 to like 130, 140, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Especially if these rate cuts come, it's going to be extremely bullish for crypto. More risk on appetite, more easy access to liquidity. You're going to see Bitcoin move up. It moves with the M2 money supply, like I said earlier in the video. You're going to see Bitcoin move up, which is going to take key altcoins with it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm thinking we could potentially see pumpage here for the crypto market, despite all the fear, which again, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. And we could see yet another leg up here for BTC. Again, weekly RSI, we have room to run. We're only at 54. Monthly RSI is getting hot, but we do have room to run. It previously ran hot before, and we are not yet overbought. Kind of like SPY is. Monthly RSI or weekly RSI, monthly RSI for BTC is at 68, which is actually a really good spot where we could still push higher. I do not think this bull run is over just yet. So guys, this is what we're looking at for the crypto market, the stock market. This week's going to be insane. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys. Few people make it to the end. If you made it to the end, that helps me with the algorithm. If you guys want to check out the merch store to help support the channel in a different way, you guys can. Links are down below in the description as well. Also, if you guys want to drop a super chat on the live streams, I'd appreciate that. But if you don't want to do any of that, just leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the content, all that good YouTuber stuff. And as always, y'all, make sure you do these things. Make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam.